Good evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. Welcome to Bedtime Chit-Chat Story Time. Make sure you got your teacup, all right? Because we're going to get the tea spilled on these telephone calls. If you are new to this channel, I welcome you. I like to sit and listen to Dave Ramsey telephone calls, see what we can learn from them. All right, folks, let's take this straight on down. You are family if you've been here before, so you know the routine. Get comfortable. Let's look at the title. There's $60,000 of debt my husband doesn't know about. Oh, sweet Jesus. All right, 60 grand in debt my husband doesn't know about. This just ran a few days ago, so I say, let's hit it. Thanks for being here.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
I feel really broken. I have acquired some personal loans, credit cards, and medical bills that my husband is not aware of. They total in about $60,900 some odd dollars.
Well, people, I like to try to hold off on the tea, but I think we can probably pour. However, out of respect for the caller, we're going to hold off just a little longer. But I got some thoughts I'll share with you on this, but I can tell you this. Sometimes who you're married to is or is not the luck of the draw.
I really don't know how to confront him about it. And
I would have probably confronted him about, I don't know, $55,000 ago, if not sooner.
I guess I need to know what my next steps after I would do that would be.
All right, folks, we're gonna pour the tea. I think we got the gist of this. All right, if you're new and you don't have a teacup, don't worry. You can get one for tomorrow night. All right, people, get your teacups. I think we got the gist of the story. Get your teacups. All right, folks, you know the routine. Let's pour that tea. Ever so refreshing. All right. Now, she sounds like she might be a little bit older, so we may have to take some sensitivity here. But age or not, it's to me, I guess, being 56 and divorced and just about every financial mishap you can have. I really think there's no reason. I can find very few excuses as to why you should not tell your spouse about the debt you're in. And here's just the bottom line. If you can't tell your spouse that you're in debt, then you're married to the wrong person. Yeah. If I go and I have a wild and crazy fun day and I run up a $1,000 credit card bill at Macy's buying my hotel comforters that I love, and I can't turn around and go, oh my goodness, I kind of messed this up. If I can't immediately turn around and tell my husband, one, I just spent $1,000, all right, and then, which I would not do that, and I never have done that in a relationship, just BTW, by the way, okay, but let's say I had, all right, and I had run that up. If I can't go home and confess that to my spouse, I am married to the wrong person. And there are a plethora of reasons as to why I might not feel like I could tell my spouse, but for whatever the reason, you're married to the wrong person.
It's pretty scary.
Yeah, what happened along the way?
Well, we've been married. It'll be 29 years this May. I'm 50 years old. I'll be 50 on March the 23rd.
She'll be 50? My apologies. I thought she sounded about 25 years older, so my apologies. She's a little younger than I am. I'll be 57. All right, let's continue on.
This happened one other time that I had got some credit cards, and it was in 2012. The quantity of that was $7,774. We bought a home in 2000, and we ended up refinancing it in the 2012, and we were able to get that caught up. He was upset, but this time...
Okay, we're going to pause here. She says what's her name? Linda in Cincinnati, Ohio. So Linda says that I guess in the past she had run up 7,000 and he wasn't happy about that. Oh, sweet Jesus. Again, if you've watched this channel, I'm not laughing at the situation they're in as far as I'm not laughing at anything. I'm not. What makes me sigh, what makes me just go, oh God, because folks, I've been there. Okay. When you've gone through 2 bankruptcies, there's not much you can tell me that I haven't, that is just going to so shock me. Sometimes the shocks do come. All right. But for the most part, there's not a lot. But I think one thing that does still shock me, because I really haven't experienced this myself, I couldn't tell my partner about my debt. That's the part that shocks me still. I've never been in that situation where I could not tell somebody about my debt, but that's because when I was having all my debt issues, I wasn't married. That probably helped a lot. And then by the time I did get married, my debt issues were, manageable, under control, yada, yada. So I was never really in that position, but you just have to sit and go, this is an example of people who've been married many years. And what does everybody, oh, it's our 20th wedding anniversary. Oh, it's our 25th. Oh, it's our 30th. Meanwhile, the relationship's actually, in the toilet, so to speak. That's why I've learned, don't be jealous over the years people have been together. That's not what we should celebrate. Okay. People celebrate the years they've been together. What they should be celebrating is how many happy years have you been together. People shouldn't celebrate how much money they make. What they should celebrate is how much of it do you keep. We tend to celebrate the wrong things. I guarantee you that this call just came in a few days ago. All right. So I guarantee you they're going to have a wonderful 30th anniversary. They're going to fool all their friends and family. But only Dave Ramsey and you and I know the truth.
The quantity is much more.
Yeah. The one thing that I can say, family, about being divorced, okay, and I'm just gonna lay it on the line here, because if you've watched this, I'm not the one who chose to divorce, okay, but I will tell you this. I am more convinced than ever, having been divorced, having been with someone who is, home business, having been broke myself, basically going through just about every damn financial nightmare you could think of, auto repossessions, yada, yada. I am convinced more than ever that we do not, for the most part, vet our partners carefully enough on what they really think about money. And the hard part is you can marry somebody, a couple decades ago, and you both had one view of money when there were no bills, when there was no retirement, when life was just, we are family. Okay. And it just all seems wonderful. But as you start looking at your retirement, as you start looking at, financing for kids, their education, you start looking at stuff. It is possible that you take on 2 totally different views of finances. That it just, you got one person who cares what the neighbors think, and then you got someone like me who don't give a crap. You've got one person who thinks you should spend every single pay raise and then some, and then you've got like me who says, no, I'm happy to make, my income and try to live off of one paycheck. Oh, by the way, I have a cake in the oven, so when the timer goes off, I have to tend to it. Sorry for the dead silence. I had to sneeze. Didn't want to sneeze in your ear. Okay. So, anyways, but I am convinced that, when I look back at any of my relationships, but especially when I got married, how much I ignored about our differences in money, how much I swept under the rug thinking it would just solve itself. It doesn't solve itself. Money problems in relationships do not solve themselves unless both people, in my opinion, have a fundamental view, understanding, ideology, similar beliefs about money. And that similar belief has to sustain the life of the relationship to some extent, unless you're with somebody that is really good at compromising. But if you're with someone who cares about, what the neighbors think, and that's the type of person they turn into, and you turn into, say, the type of person like me who don't give a crap what the neighbors think, we are looking at two different ideologies on money. They're probably not going to be negotiable to either one of us. Unless you happen to, be with somebody that goes, okay, I can see why we should save for retirement. I don't know. There are no easy answers, but I really am convinced that who you are married to, as far as, the way you view money, and I can see why money is such a trigger in divorces and stuff, because I'll be honest, people at 56 turning the corner at 57 in July, I don't want to be with someone who's going to make my ass go flat broke. I don't want to be with somebody who absolutely has, who cares so much about what car I drive, who cares so much about the house that I live in, that the drywall is more important than our own security. I don't want to be with somebody like that. I couldn't handle it because I know what the other side of broke feels like. And when you're working and you're pedaling to try to keep things above water and somebody else is taking it and sinking it, you can't get out of it. The only way to get out of it is pretty much in the relationship. Again, unless you have a real unique partner that goes, oh yeah, I've decided to quit my, what is it? YOLO, you only live once life, and, go more conservative. And I don't think that happens a lot of the times. I am of the belief, my opinion, your money values, beliefs, ideologies, I really believe those, this is just my opinion, I believe those are very, very cemented by the time you hit, I'm going to say, your 40s. And here's why. Even though my ass was flat broke in my 20s and part of my 30s, I still clearly had the understanding that retirement was very important. I clearly still had the desire and the wish to balance, to get my finances in balance. All right. And I clearly understood that the person I was with, in past relationships, we didn't see eye to eye like that. Okay, you have one person and they want to go out. If they could, they would drop $100 every week for dinner, and I'll drop $10 at, Culver's. My mother would always tell me, my late mom would always tell me, you really, really need to see money the same way. If you're going to have children, you need to see raising kids the same way. Religion, you need to see religion for most the same way. Now, of course, there are always exceptions. So we're going to put the exceptions aside. We're going to just look at the general John Q. public. But here she is. What's her name? Linda. Here Linda is tanking the family finances. Tanking it. 60 grand her spouse doesn't know about. How freaking unfair is that? How unfair? Been there. Working hard. I was in a relationship. I won't say what relationship. I've had more than one relationship in the past. I was in one relationship. Kid you not. I would work really, really hard to save money. Just to try to get some sort of savings account. And, I never actually told the person I was in a relationship with that we had a savings account, and I would work so hard to try to get $2,000-$3,000 in it because I knew that this particular person that I was in a relationship with, I knew that if he knew that the money was there, he would spend it frivolously on stupid stuff. So I would always try to save it. And then when, we had an unexpected bill or a bill got too freaking large, because we never financially budgeted anything, I would be able to pay it off. And he would always say, how did you have the money for that? Because I freaking saved it. In other words, my spending habits were already instilled in me. They were already ingrained in me. even though they weren't ready for performance, they weren't ready for the big stage, okay, so to speak, meaning I had them under control and all that. I always knew how I wanted to live financially. I always knew that, you need to start planning on retirement in your early 30s, yada, yada. This type of thing just, I guess, I don't know, it kind of infuriates me to a certain extent. I'm not going to say the whole entire bill is her fault. We might be jumping a little early on the tee for that, okay? But, damn. Really, family, would you rather be single for the rest of your life and ensure that you will be financially sound, or would you rather be married to someone who's going to sink you? And she's 60,000. Like I said, this just happened. This call was just a few days ago, and she's going to sink you 60 grand and counting. Think about that.
Unfortunately, I met fortunately, I had met one of your preferred coaches back in 2017, and I wanted to get finances in order, not live paycheck to paycheck. And at the time, I didn't have any credit card bills, just had a few loans. And I feel like my husband has neglected some of the emotional support that he should give.
Don't start blaming your husband because you ran up $60,000 worth of credit card debt, lady, that you didn't tell him about. I don't give a crap. I don't. You're in the wrong marriage. You need to divorce that person. You can't stay in that relationship, run up 60 grand behind his back, and then say, but you weren't attentive enough to me. Right? I'm sorry. If you're with me and you think I suck that badly as a spouse, please, there's the door. Been through it. Okay, really. You think I suck that badly as a spouse, you have the right to leave. It's okay. It'll hurt like hell when it happens, but I'll get over it. Oh, there's the cake timer. Be right back, folks. You know the routine. All right, we're back. Let's continue.
And so the coach has said, you need to be a team. Your husband should come. And my husband did go one time. And during that time, we talked about our situation. He didn't show a lot of emotion. I cried and begged for him to take over the money. And so the next time I met...
Wait, she cried and begged for him to take over the what? Hold on.
He didn't show a lot of emotion. I cried and begged for him to take over the money.
She wanted him to take over the money. Okay, so she basically wanted to admit that I can't control it. Well, that doesn't solve the problem now, does it? Yeah, I can take over the budget, but it doesn't solve the problem of you don't know how to handle a budget.
And so the next time I met the coach, he said he could tell that my husband wasn't totally involved. And
okay, I'm having a problem with this. All right, I'm having a problem with this. I don't want to sound like an insensitive person, but hey, sometimes it is what it is. I know why he didn't want to be involved. At least I'm suspecting. Okay, he has watched you do this, and I'll be gut instinct honest. He's probably was wondering if he even wanted to stick around. He's emotionally disconnected. He's emotionally disconnected to the finances. And yeah, he could take it over. Okay, that's fine. Technically, they should be doing it together. So in that regard, he should hold some responsibility. Okay. But I have a hard time with the woman's tears going, if he had just been more emotionally involved, I would not have cheated our relationship of $60,000. That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out for I can't control my spending habits. I need an excuse to spend. And I'm going to be honest, this isn't even, okay, and you're talking to a shopaholic expert. I don't equate this with shopaholic. I don't equate this. Not at this point. That's my gut instinct. Could be wrong. But, as a former shopaholic, a severe one, This doesn't strike me as that. This strikes me more as, yeah, she's spending because she doesn't want to control it. She's tried to tell her husband. She feels her husband wasn't involved enough, so she's using that as an excuse to go spend more. The problem I have is $60,000 in debt. You're screwing your spouse over. That's the problem that I'm having. And that, to a certain extent, is all I can see. So I might be wrong on this, okay? But that's really all I see, because I think, my God, I could be married to somebody, and I think we're doing fine financially. Meanwhile, they're running up this debt. This is why, as Viewer Parlor says, people, you got to pull those freaking credit reports once a year. And you've heard me say it, family. It's not for negative reasons. If your relationship is on the up and up, what's the big deal with pulling credit reports, even if you did open up a credit card? What's the big deal? Oh, Carrie, I see you opened up 3 credit cards this year. Yeah, I did, but my credit score is above 800, and you can see we have no bills on them. Okay, whatever. It's not to micromanage. And I think the problem is when it comes to pulling credit reports, some people are afraid to do it because they're thinking, oh my God, my spouse is going to micromanage me. It's not about micromanaging. I have a gal pal, and she said, married people need to be a financial open book. They need to be an open book. The fact that she ran up $60,000. My freaking condo is worth $100,000. That lady's damn near bought a piece of property value, and her husband doesn't know about it. And even if he is a bit, maybe he holds some responsibility in that, they should jointly together work on the budgeting and stuff. It's her responsibility to do the relationship no severe financial harm. And when I talk about severe financial harm, I ain't talking about, I go and have a crazy Saturday and go, ooh, Macy's has a comforter for sale. Because if you've watched this channel, I love comforters. I own about 35 of them, okay? They're kept in a storage locker. All right? And I go spend $150. I would tell my spouse, hey, your chickie here just spent $150 on a comforter, but don't worry, I ain't going to do that again for a few more months, not till the next seasonal sale, all right? For example, this year, I think I've bought 1 comforter. See, it's under control. It's under control. But if I can't go home and tell my spouse that, there's a problem.
We continued to meet for less than a year, and I felt like I could maybe do it on my own. And
you can't dig yourself out of debt when you're a party of 2, but only one person knows that the debt exists. It's impossible. God help her if she's 50. Let's say they go for a refi. Or the car dies. They go for a car loan, whatever. And family, we've heard this. I will link, if I remember, I will try to remember to link another story I did on spouses who hide debt from each other that would be easily discovered in a credit report. I think what she's really afraid of, in all honesty, is he will divorce her. She already sees that he seems to be emotionally disconnected. Okay. And that is where I do hold him responsible. They need to both be emotionally connected to the finances. They need to know what's going on. All right. But I think she fears that he's going to divorce. 50 years old, you're about 17 years to retirement if you want to retire on time at the 67, 68 mark. If you want to retire at 70, and some people do, if their bodies hold out that long. I hope mine does, because I can't retire till I'm 67, 68 anyways. You start looking at your spouse, and you start going, are you the person I want to be with 20 years from now? The track that we are on, the financial track that we are on, the emotional relationship track that we are on, because it's not just about the money. Are you the person I want to be with 20 years from now? You know what they call those gray divorces? Because 50 today is, 50 is the new 40.
So you're handling the whole household budget on your own, or your finances are separate and you on your own?
Oh, all right, everybody pause. Hold on here. I just accidentally, I've done this like twice now. Hold on. All right, we're all another pause while I fix this. Hey, I was lucky. All right, it's all fixed. It just took seconds. Okay, here we go.
Or your finances are separate and you on your own have gone into debt?
it's all together.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets paid weekly, and a lot of times he will cash his check,
Mm-hmm.
and he will take some of that for his lunch money, and he does smoke. And
I was just gonna say, if he's paid weekly, he's probably they're probably in a socioeconomically lower income bracket. So he takes his money, smokes, probably blows part of it. Yikes. We can't say this is 100. Their overall financial picture is a joint responsibility. Okay, their overall financial picture, communicating, deciding where they want to go financially, that is a joint. But I hold her fully responsible for the hidden 60,000.
so he takes that money. If I take the check, I will give him like $120 for that next week.
But you're supposed to be
Sometimes
managing all the money, and so the only reason he doesn't know about the debt is he's not involved in the money.
Correct.
Husbands, did you hear that? Husbands. Yes, I'm talking to you guys out there. Did you hear that? You can be toiling your hiney off, and you can have a woman in the background sinking you. Now, does that mean necessarily you're doing great things with your life either? No, not necessarily. But like I've said, it's the hidden part that I don't like. It's the fact that she's hiding $60,000 in debt. It's one thing to admit that, yep, we're a broke couple. Okay, it is what it is. We're a broke couple. Maybe we don't have the highest drive to get out of our financial situation. Maybe we aren't highly driven to, change our financial lot. Okay, but that's now known by both of you. What can't be happening is that's known by both of you, but one person is digging a sand pit, right? And burying your future.
So why was he upset when he gave you the money to manage, and then you didn't do it because he doesn't help?
Well, I guess, I take responsibility. I shouldn't have done this.
This marriage needs to come to an end. It needs to come to an end. They're 50 years old. I don't see it. I don't see changing the light and changing the ways. I think he's been emotionally disconnected from this marriage for some time, and that's why he doesn't give a rip about the finances. I think she's afraid that he's probably going to divorce or want to leave. They are, from what I can tell, probably socioeconomically appears to be lower income. Right?
But I do feel like he should have stepped up.
Yeah, both are true.
Yeah, and I've said that. He should have stepped up. I did say that, okay? However, that she can't use that as an excuse as to why she hid 60 grand. She just can't. And part of me thinks that she's trying to use that as an excuse. Well, I wouldn't have gotten us $60,000 in debt if you had just stepped up and taken over the budget or shared the budget. It should be a shared budget, but either way,
Yeah.
Both are true, and they're not. No, you shouldn't have gone this far in debt without talking to him about it. You should have raised a stink a long time ago.
But even so, it still would not be an excuse to go $60,000 in debt. It would not be an excuse to do that.
Now here we are. So it's $61,000 in debt, and what kind of debt is this?
11,000 of it is credit card.
Mm-hmm.
27,000 of it is like little personal loans, but they're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
High interest rates and stuff.
I'm thinking things like Scott, payday loans. They don't make a lot of money. If he's getting paid weekly, I'd like to know what she gets paid.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you'd come up short in the household budget and go cover it with a credit card or a payday advance loan or something like that.
You are correct.
Okay.
That's what I said. I do believe that earns me some snaps. Yay me. Yay me. Accuracy is very important on this channel, family.
And it wasn't like you went and bought something for yourself on the side while he's completely running the household budget over here, and you just lied to him about a credit card. You're running the household, and you're not doing a good job, and that got you guys into debt. He just doesn't know about that. Am I correct, or am I missing something?
No, you are totally correct.
Okay.
The marriage is over. We can play the wedding tape backwards. They have no communication, and I don't see communication occurring that's going to be any better.
All right, and the rest, so 27 is the bad personal loans. How much was credit cards again?
11,000.
Okay, what's the rest of it?
I have a 401k loan that 270 comes out of each paycheck.
What's the balance on the 401k loan?
5,200.
Okay, and
Let's continue.
what's the rest of it?
The medical bills are 7,400. I mean, it's like 7,407.72, but I'm just kind of giving
I got
you
you.
a rough.
You're fine. The pennies don't matter at this point. I'm trying to get the concepts. So the
Pennies probably should have mattered because all pennies add up to dollars. But we get what you mean, Dave. We get you.
who got sick?
It was my daughter that's in college. She was having major stomach pain, and it took 2 emergency room trips. So 4,000 of that is, it's 2,600. Both of them are about $20 different.
Why would any of this stuff be stuff you'd need to keep from your husband? We have a daughter. We are having to go to payday loans or medical bills, whatnot, to cover it. Why? I don't understand. Okay, why any of this would be stuff that needed to be held from him. And medical bills, as you've heard me say, they don't stress me out as much because medical bills, 1, you can go bankrupt on it, but 2, you can take your sweet time paying it. Just make sure you pay something. Make sure you get in touch with the medical company. Don't allow it to go to collection because you ignored it for 6 months. But I don't hear anything here. Yeah, 60,000 is a heck of a lot of money, but that's because it added up over time. But I don't hear anything that'd be like, oh my God, I couldn't tell my husband about it. Hey, our daughter had some emergencies. We are going to be making monthly payments. Hey, we're short on the budget. We need to bring in more income. Why do I suspect? I would really like to know if she works. And that they're not just relying on his income. She's 50, so she's 7 years younger than me.
It's for 2 different hospital emergency rooms trips.
Okay. All right, Linda.
And then
Here's the
one
thing.
of them.
Here's the thing, okay? You've got some financial problems.
But the bigger issue is the marriage problem.
That are solvable. But more so, you have a tremendous marriage problem.
Once again, the quality content you've come to know, rely, and trust since September 2023. Yay me. Yay me. Yeah. The money can always be adjusted. Money can be fixed. It can. Money problems can be fixed. It's the marriage problem. And this has been an ongoing marriage problem. You know, I become less and less impressed when people tell me how long they've been married. You know, in the old days, like, oh, gee, you've been married 30 years. How exciting. Find out what's going on behind that, and then you can determine if that's exciting or not. So they've been married just rounding the corner of 30 years. This just ran last week, family. This episode just ran last week.
Massive.
Exactly. I told you. I really believe it. 2 things are either going to happen. They're either going to divorce. Okay? They're going to divorce. Or they're going to stay together and they're going to be the people that are going to retire flat broke. I mean, flat broke. They will have nothing. They will be the ones that call into Dave Ramsey when they're 70 years old saying, I'm having to go back to work. No, better yet, I haven't ever been able to quit work because we have no money because of stupid stuff we did in our 50s. That's what I'm convinced of. These are going to be, she will be the 71-year-old woman calling in, and Dave will be saying to her, honey, it looks like you're going to be working till you're 80. If you don't have busted knees, a busted shoulder with arthritis or anything else going on. Right? That's who she's going to be. And a part of me thinks she's probably more worried about whether or not he'll leave than anything else, because we don't know what her independent financial situation is like.
Do you agree with that?
I do.
I do.
Okay.
I really do.
And Linda, I'm sorry you're in this position, but we have to ask ourselves the same question I ask in just about every video, and the same thing that helps keep me financially straight. Like when I was at the car dealership and there was that gorgeous $45,000 Camry, but I was there to buy a $26,000 Toyota Corolla hybrid. The question I always ask myself is, Carrie, is this a choice? Is this avoidable? And if I can say yes, then I know it's in my control to handle my finances responsibly. This debt, at least on an individual front, okay, we've got some for the medical, we were short on some of the bills, so we had to take out a payday loan. Each of those debts on their own, in my opinion, don't seem like things that should be something you have to keep from your husband. But in whole, you put them all together and it comes out that way. All right, another quick pause break. Hey, you guys know how it is. It's bacon day, so I'll be right back. I will tell you, family, when I was in a relationship and I was at my brokest, one of my most broke, I had to use payday loans. And I'll be really honest, I was so embarrassed to walk into that place. You know you can buy stamps at Amscot. You can get free money orders at Amscot. But when you're broke, you kind of feel like the whole world to some extent is staring at you. So I would always pick an Amscot where, you couldn't see me necessarily from the street. So everybody driving by would go, there's Carrie's broke ass. She's walking into an Amscot. Even though I could have just been walking in to get some stamps. I was walking in to drop off a tax return check, whatever. It's just like with bankruptcy. You walk out of court and you think the whole world knows that you got the scarlet B for bankruptcy over your head. Okay? When really nobody knows. And here's the even greater part. Probably most people don't care because they got their own issues to worry about. But you just feel that way.
Something is this big. If you have a data point, and that is when you sat down with him and said, hey, I've been managing this all by myself and you're not helping, and I have driven this car off the road into the ditch to the tune of $7,000, you've got a data point on how he reacted. Now you're 8.5x that, or 8x that.
And probably 20 plus years into the relationship of that, because I could be wrong in that, but she said that was in the past. So I'm going to say 15, 20 years ago.
Times that much. I recommend you get either a couple or a pastor, somebody that you trust to be a part of this conversation, because it may be combustible. And
she needs to be prepared that he may say, I'm done with you. It's just a reality. He may say, this isn't a bill that not only is this a bill that I don't want, but he's going to have to be 50% most likely responsible, even if they split. But he could be looking at it going, is this the future wife that I want? Is this the person that I want to be married to 20 years from now? Because I guarantee you, family, this 60 grand bill, this call was last week. This will increase to 100 grand if it keeps going the way it is. This is how being with the wrong person can really screw you over big time.
Are you going to be safe? Is he going to...
Forget her being safe. I'd be asking the husband, is he safe? He's got somebody digging a $60,000 hole. They're both responsible in that neither one seems to be the adult in there. There's no adult in the room to handle the finances. But when it comes to who's safe, I don't think the person that's shooting the bullet is the one we need to ask.
Overreact? Is he going to yell and scream? Is he going to hit you? Is he going to run out of the house?
John, really, John, I love you, man, but damn. Oh, my Lord.
Alice, what do you think his reaction's going to be?
He's pretty much passive aggressive.
Okay.
And
He's passive aggressive, so he'll act like, okay, well, it is what it is, but then he'll do some other thing. She cannot blame all of this on him. They're both responsible to some extent, to a great extent. They're both responsible for the household finances. But this $60,000 hidden, that's on her. And she should have stepped up to the plate. And if she really realized that either she doesn't have a shopping problem. Remember, I told you, fam, I didn't see this as a shopping problem. So my instincts were right on that. This isn't a shopaholic problem. All right. Because I can identify that pretty much from, across the country. But the fact that she couldn't even talk to him about medical bills for their daughter, she probably should have said, this isn't going to be the right relationship. This marriage should have ended years ago.
I do fear, emotionally more than anything, the rejection. I think I could take better if somebody punched me.
I see divorce on the horizon, and I think she does too. I think she feels like this is going to be the end of it. And it probably is. And I'll be honest, if you were married to me, and I'm busting my ass off trying to keep us afloat, and you're sinking me in the hole, $70,000, or in this case, $61,000, and I'm 50 years old, I have to take a tough, hard look, and I'm 57. I have to take a tough, hard look and go, I'm 12 years to retirement. Can I even afford to keep you as a spouse? I mean, literally, can I even afford to keep you? Don't get me wrong. And I've said it on this channel before. I do not require that someone be debt free to be married to me. Absolutely not. Now, you don't have to be debt free. But we do have to have the same ideology about money. We both have to have made plans about retirement income. What are we going to do? And can the two of us, with what we have, two smart brains, can he and I, with our two smart, intelligent brains, can we figure out together how to clear up any debt that may be left over? Don't care whose side it is, okay? And move forward. And if we can do that, then hey, I'm good. What I'm not good with is somebody who's going to sink me with a private debt reserve that they've got going on that I have no idea about. That's the reason I would divorce. Okay? It's not because she came and said, we've got children with medical debt, we're short on the monthly bills, what do we do? And she's all open and honest about that, and I'm being a twerp and ignoring it. Husband may be a little bit of a twerp there in that area, maybe even a big twerp. But what I can't handle is, oh my God, I wake up one day and you've just got us 60 grand in the hole. I will try, family, to put at the end, okay? I will try to remember to link the video of the woman who sunk her husband 85 grand in the hole. And he had paid off the house and had paid off her debt years earlier. And now she's got them 85 grand in the hole. These are spouses you don't want. You don't want these spouses. Just being honest, these are the spouses you want. They're not the spouses I want.
He's not, doesn't beat up on me or anything.
Okay. You need to sit down with a marriage counselor
ASAP.
now.
And start drawing out the terms of divorce.
The debt thing you can work out with one of our coaches, and you actually know how to do that when the two of you get on the same page.
Hang on the line here.
They're not going to get on the same page. Mark my words, I'd bet a paycheck on it. The relationship ended a long time ago. They don't have the same ideologies. They don't have the same beliefs. They are, you've been together 30 years and this is the state of your marriage. What do you think the next, 20 years are going to bring you? Right? What is it that they say? Past experience you can use that to, help gauge the future. That's all I'm doing. Looking at the past, trying to plan out that future. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening. I do hope you will consider subscribing. And people, I will see you tomorrow night, at least. That's the plan. Good night, everyone.